welcome back to my channel. This is going to be part 2 of my reading romance for a week video series, I guess. I thought we could do another one. I think my last one was in February, so obviously Valentine's Day kind of vibes, and I'm feeling very like light-hearted romance at the moment because we're going into summer, obviously. You would have seen that I did actually start Love on the Brain for this video. I started that last night, but I'm not going to count it because I didn't actually end up reading that much. So we're starting today, and I have got a decent way in. I've been listening to it. So I listened to it on my lunch break and on my way to and from work. So I've got a decent chunk in, but I'll show you that in a second and talk to you about it. As I said, I am feeling very light-hearted at the moment. I don't particularly want an emotional romance, but I thought we could go through some of the books that I'm considering reading in this video. I probably will only get through 2 books. So these are the 5 books that I'm considering choosing from. The colour scheme is really cute now that I'm looking at it like this. It's very romance vibes. So yeah, as you know, I am obviously reading Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood, and the other ones we've got are The Rulebook by Sarah Adams. That's a book that's been on my TBR since it came out. As you would have seen in my recent top 10 romance video, I loved Cheat Sheet at the time, and this is the second book in that series, so I'm very intrigued by that book. Then obviously I have Love on the Brain, The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. That's another one that I've had on my TBR for ages and I just haven't got to it. Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. That's obviously on my June TBR, so it would be good to do that one. I think it's a bit more emotional though. And then we have Beg, Borrow or Steal by Sarah Adams, and that's the 3rd book in the When in Rome trilogy, I believe it's called. That one's just really high on my TBR. I only just recently bought it, but I think it'll be a really good romance. So we'll see which book I end up choosing. I'm thinking it will probably be between The Rulebook and Beg, Borrow or Steal. I do really want to read Before I Let Go, but every time I look at it, I'm like, I just want a light-hearted, fun romance, and I'm not sure that's what that book's gonna be. And in The Friend Zone, I think from what I know, it's a little bit emotional. Like, it's still relatively light-hearted, but there's still some emotions going on in it, and I don't know. I've just put it off for so long that I wouldn't be surprised if I put it off for this video. So yeah, on to Love on the Brain. I'm up to chapter 6, which is around 70-80 pages into the book. As I said, that's all from listening it today. I did read a couple of pages last night, but I didn't even read a chapter. The chapters are quite long actually, which I'm not a fan of. I'm just not that interested at the moment, I'm not gonna lie. This is a book that I've put off for so long, and I just thought I'll bite the bullet. Let's just read it in this video. I need to read an Ali Hazelwood book because everyone talks about her and loves her, and this is the one I've had the longest. I picked it up and I'm not loving it. I think it's fine. Like, the main character is quite quirky, so that's interesting. I don't really love characters like that. A little bit pick me vibes, that kind of thing going on. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, maybe it'll get better from here. He also just he doesn't really have good vibes, I'm not gonna lie. And maybe I'm just going off their vibes, but at the moment, just not really loving the vibes, to be honest. I'm also not a big science girl, so that probably doesn't help. But I am interested to see where it goes because I'm pretty sure we just found out that the main male character has a family. Interesting. Anyway, I'll keep you updated. I probably will only read a little bit more today, but if I keep on track, I should finish this in 2, maybe 3 days, and then we can go on to the next book. And then we'll see. I might be able to start another one, but I probably won't finish another one in this week. Okay, so it's the next day. It is Wednesday. We started yesterday on Tuesday, and I have not read at all today. I ended up driving to work and driving back, so I didn't actually really have much time to read. And then I saw my boyfriend this evening. So I'm going to try and read a bit more now, but I managed to get 103 pages into Love on the Brain last night. So I'm about a third through, which isn't too bad considering I'm not loving it, but I definitely don't hate it. I think I had very low expectations for this book and probably would dislike it more if I had higher expectations. What I said in the first clip, I believe, or about him being married and having a kid is definitely true. I think I was a bit unsure if I misheard that when I was listening to the audiobook, but I read a bit more last night and it definitely was the case. So I'm guessing there's going to be some kind of something is going on there. I guess maybe it's going to turn out oh, he's just made that up, or she's his best friend, or I mean, I hope it's something like that, but that's so unrealistic. But hope that it's not like actually the case and he's going to break up with this woman to be with our female main character. But I will say I am getting into the like sciencey side of things. So they're working together on a project, and he's from NASA and she's from, I think, NIH. So they're from like different science corporations basically, and they're kind of merging together. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on here. I'm intrigued to see what the reason for Levi and her getting together is going to be, because he's married and has a child. That's my like main goal for reading this, which is a bit silly, but I don't think I'm gonna love the romance necessarily. I'm sure it'll be kind of cute. I'm getting like good vibes from the romance, I guess. Now I think you can tell that he likes her, which is nice. She thinks he doesn't like her, but it's very obvious that he does have some sort of feelings towards her. But I just don't know how I'm going to feel about the marriage part of things. Those are my thoughts. I'm going to read a bit now. I'll update you probably tomorrow, hopefully. Okay, so I'm back with an update, and my update is that I actually finished Love on the Brain today. It's Thursday evening right now. I do feel like this was just a very average romance. I feel like that's maybe even a bit harsh. I wouldn't say that I loved this book. I think it was cute. I think at some points the romance felt a little bit physical, but not to the extent that, you know, some books where it's like just purely physical. There definitely was another aspect to the relationship other than the like spice in it. I also really quite like the epilogue. I feel like in a lot of books you kind of know what's going to happen in the epilogue, and it's going to be like them getting married or them having kids, that sort of thing. And they do mention like that they are going to get married, but the main part of it is that she finally does the 5k run that she's like been mentioning the whole book. Basically, she's been doing like couch to 5k, and she finally does it in the epilogue. And I really like that because it's just like something for the main character and it's not just centered around romance. So I really like that aspect of the book. I was kind of right in my prediction about where it was going with him having a wife and kids. But yeah, honestly, I feel like that's all I have to say. I don't really have much to say. I feel like this is a bit of a disappointing start to the video, but I kind of knew that going in, so I'm not like upset about it. Maybe it wasn't good from a viewer standpoint that I didn't love this book, but yeah, my kind of takeaway from this book is that she was doing couch 5k and she was a vegan, and he was just a man doing science. He had like a ex that he's still very close to. I'm thinking it's just like middle of the road 3-star at this point. I'll confirm at the end of this video. As for my next book, I'm really not sure what I want to read because I'm honestly not in that much of a romance mood now, and I've just started this video, so I need to get back in the mood. So I feel like we need a strong romance book that I will love, and I just don't know what that's going to be. So I'm having a little bit of a brainstorm, and I'll come back to you when I've got my books. Okay, so I think it's going to be between my two Sarah Adams books, but I really don't know which one to choose. I'm a very indecisive person. I'm a Libra moon, so I'm extremely indecisive, and I don't know which of these two I want to read next. I think you've kind of got from this video that I tend to read more with audiobooks now that I work full time, so I'm kind of leaning more towards the rule book because I think that's on Libby at the moment, and that would be good just because I just find it easier to listen. Obviously, it's easier in general to listen to something than physically read it, and I know obviously it's Thursday today. Tomorrow I'm working, but I will have a bit of free time to read like during the day and in the evening. Saturday I should have some time to read during the day, but in the evening I'm going to British Summertime Hyde Park, so I won't be able to read too much on Saturday, and then Sunday I will be able to read. So part of me does want to do Beg, Borrow and Steal just because I know that I will have some time to read physically. I also read Practice Makes Perfect in one of my more recent videos, and I really liked that one, and I kind of did leave that wanting to read the next one. So I am leaning a bit towards this one, like storyline wise, but like practicality wise I am leaning more towards the rulebook because it's on audiobook. And also I really loved the cheat sheet. Like out of all the Sarah Adams books I've read so far, the cheat sheet was my favorite. I know that it's a bit cringy and like I probably would read it now and maybe not love it as much, but I did really love it. So I am really intrigued by this one, and like I feel like I want to go back to this in a way. I do remember Derek from the cheat sheet. He was one of Nate's friends, And one of my favourite parts of the cheat sheet is when, actually, this is a spoiler, but like, if you haven't read cheat sheet, I feel like you've probably seen this on the internet. It's the whole reason behind the cheat sheet. The whole like story with the cheat sheet is that Nate and his friends write a cheat sheet, and then Brie comes in and she's like, oh, like what's going on? And like all of the boys try and hide it, and it's just a really funny and like cute moment. And that was one of the things I really loved about the cheat sheet, especially with the boy characters. They had like such a good little friendship group going, and I really loved that. So to see Derek in this would be fun. And I feel like now that I'm reminiscing on the cheat sheet a bit more, I think I'm going to go with the rule book, because that scene in the cheat sheet was so good. I'm thinking I might reread that now. That's really made me want to reread it. Yeah, I think I might do the rule book. I'll start this and then we can see how I feel about the cheat sheet, see how I feel about this. I have higher expectations for this, so we'll see how it goes. If I can finish this over the weekend, we could potentially fit another book in this vlog, which would be really fun. I read 76 pages last night and this morning before I started work of the rulebook. I'm already loving this so much more than Love on the Brain. I think Sarah Adams is just really good at writing, like, I guess attractive characters. Like, they're characters that you can see the attraction with. So yeah, I guess they are attractive. And like obviously I said with Derek, you do know him from the cheat sheet, and we have had little glimpses of the characters from the cheat sheet, so that's been really nice. But obviously he's like an American football player and he has this kind of like broody thing going on. And then Nora, the female main character, she's just very like positive and likable, so I'm enjoying that. I feel like I prefer these characters to Love on the Brain, but I also feel like that's kind of my preference. I guess if you're someone that likes like education, I guess I don't really know what the whole genre would be, but if you're someone that's quite into like science, maths, English, arts, then maybe books like Love on the Brain would be for you, whereas I'm someone that's probably more into like sports and stuff. And I know, for example, physical education was one of my more preferred lessons in school. Like, I'm definitely more of a sports person than like learning person. So this kind of book is more suited to me, I feel like, than a book that's based around science, especially because I was really bad at science. So yeah, really loving just that aspect of it, and it's something that I guess I'm interested in, to see the like agent side of sports. And then obviously there's a whole element of their exes, and they're obviously going to get back together because that's like the whole point of the book. So that's exciting, because second chance romance is like one of my favorite, if not my favorite, romance tropes. So I'm liking that. I'm also liking that they're not like denying it, if that makes sense. Like, I was kind of getting the vibe, because basically, instead of writing a cheat sheet like Nathan does in the first one to try and get with Brie, Derek has written a rule book for like all the rules that they have to stick to because they're exes. But they've kind of just like, it's gone out of the window within a couple of chapters, which in normal circumstances we wouldn't love, because we need some tension built there. But I feel like it makes sense for these characters, and it would feel a bit silly if they went on longer than they have done without like the rules being broken. So yeah, those are all the aspects I'm really liking. Honestly, I'm not disliking anything about this book. Like, I'm really enjoying it. I think Sarah Adams is just really good at writing romance. Like, she's definitely potentially one of my top 3 romance authors. I really love her books, and I've never like disliked the romance. When in Rome, I didn't love the male main character in that book, but I still saw the romance for what it was. So yeah, I really love Sarah Adams books. One thing I will say, and I know that I bring this up quite a lot on my channel, but I feel like it's an important thing that should be talked about and like brought to people's attention before they read books, is health anxiety. I know I said during my reading romance for a week last time vlog, I read rom-commers, and it did trigger my health anxiety. And this book definitely has the potential to trigger it, because the female main character, Nora, has a syndrome, I guess you would call it, that I also have. And again, I think if you've watched those videos, you know I don't really want to talk about it on the internet because it's quite like personal, but rom-commers triggered something to do with that, and I don't want this book to. So I'm a bit wary of that. But also at the same time, it's nice to see that talked about in a book. I've kind of like that, but I am very wary. So this is like my little PSA. There's the potential for me to find this triggering, but we'll see. I am really loving it. And those are my thoughts. I need to read now during my rest of my lunch break so that I can go back to work.
Bring everything.
Okay, so I was actually just editing this video last night and it's Wednesday. This video is going up today and I realised I never actually ended the video. So I'm going to really quickly wrap up all my thoughts because I need to go to work. I did finish rulebook. I didn't really give any updates, which is really annoying. I did one update video and it made no sense, and I don't know if I like accidentally deleted a clip or something, but I just couldn't include it because it didn't make any sense. But I did finish the rulebook and I did really enjoy it. I rated it 4 stars in the end. I really like the main characters, Nora and Derek. They were both really like solid characters individually, and then I really like them together. Obviously, it's a second chance romance, so I'm always loving that trope anyway, and I feel like I'm always going to root for them. In that trope, I also really like there was like a little honeymoon kind of section where they go to, I can't remember where it was, but it was giving like kind of Caribbean kind of vibes, and I really like that obviously for the summer. And yeah, honestly, it was just so cute. I really am glad I decided to read that one. I love the like kind of personal stories. Obviously, Nora's on her way to becoming a professional sports agent, and I really like that development throughout the book. And then Derek's own like personal development with his injury and like where he's going to go from here in his sports career. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed seeing everyone again from the first book. That was really fun. I know I mentioned in one of the clips that health anxiety, I was worried that it would trigger that, and it didn't. There was a scene where it happened, but it didn't trigger me, so I was happy about that. But I do just want to warn you that there's like fainting and stuff in this book, so just be aware of that. I feel like it didn't trigger me, but obviously it could trigger you. And yeah, I feel like my arm is killing me right now, so I'm gonna have to stop this clip. But yeah, I really enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed the rulebook. Love on the Brain, I think it's a 3-star. I didn't hate it by any means, but I feel like nothing really sticks out to me about that book. And now my hand is shaking, sorry. Nothing really sticks out to me about that book. So yeah, those are my thoughts, but I really did enjoy romance for a week. That was fun, and yeah, thank you for watching.